Ketso Makume may now address the House.
Honorable Speaker, Ndate Dugwana, Honorable Premier, Deputy Speaker, members of the Executive Council, Chair of Chairs, traditional leaders, Marena, Morene Moholo, members of the Free State Legislature, executive mayors, mayors and councillors, acting Director General of the province, heads of the department, CEOs and provincial public entities, chairperson of the respective provincial boards, distinguished guests, people of the Free State province, esteemed ladies and gentlemen, Dumelang, Molweni, Khuyemore, good morning. Honorable Speaker, as we commemorate the 31st years of freedom, we are reminded that democracy is not an event, but a journey, a continuous process that must be nurtured, deepened, and translated into real and lasting change in the lives of our people. We are equally reminded of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, which acknowledges the injustice of the past. Through our freely elected representatives, we have adopted the Constitution as the supreme law of the country, with the express and intentional purpose to, number one, heal the divisions of the past and establish a society based on democratic values, social justice, and fundamental human rights. Two, lay the foundations for a democratic and open society in which government is based on the will of the people or citizens and free, and every citizen is equally protected by law. Number three, improve the quality of life of all citizens and free the potential of each person. And lastly, to build a united democratic South Africa able to take its rightful place as a sovereign state in the family of nations. This month, we pause to reflect on the progress we have made as a province and a country. We also take the opportunity to re-examine the work that lies ahead as we strive to build a more just, equitable, and prosperous society. Honorable Speaker, economic freedom is a fundamental to human dignity. For millions of our people, the true measures of freedom lies in access to economic opportunities, quality services, and an enabling environment in which they can thrive. This is why the work of the Provincial Treasury is about far more than managing public finances. It is about fostering economic transformation, enabling inclusive development, and sustaining the very foundations of our democracy. Freedom Month compels us to ask ourselves, have we done enough to change the lives of our poor people, the unemployed, and the marginalized? The answers to these questions are not found in speeches or slogans, but in the manner in which we plan, allocate, spend, and monitor public resources. Our performance as stewards of the public purse must reflect a commitment to improving the lived realities of our people. As custodians of the provincial fiscus, our sacred duty is to ensure that freedom is not undermined by wasteful expenditure, corruption, or inefficiency. Every mismanagement rant is a missed opportunity, an opportunity to uplift a household, to build a school, maintain critical infrastructure, or provide clean to a rural village. Honorable members, as we reflect during this Freedom Month, let us renew our commitment to the principles of good governance, transparency, and fiscal discipline. Let us continue to build a public finance system that supports service delivery, economic growth, and the employment of all citizens, particularly the most vulnerable. In doing so, we give practical meaning to the freedom we celebrate, and we honor the legacy of those who paved the way for our democracy. Let us continue to make freedom real, measurable, meaningful in the lives of our people. May our actions and stewardship reflect the hopes of our nation and the values of the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, the global economy is faced with new challenges of protectionism, persistent inflationary pressures, geopolitical instability, and structural shifts. The proposed U.S. tariffs present significant challenges and disruptions to international trade. Already, global stock markets have tumbled because of these proposed tariffs. The rand also took a knock, trading at its all-time low on Wednesday, 9 April 2025, exacerbated by uncertainty over the country's government of national unity. These developments do not augur well with our provincial economy, which is already under strain. The Free State economy contracted by 0.1% in 2024 and is projected to grow by 1.5% in 2025, driven by, among others, agriculture, trade, construction, finance, and transportation. However, sustainable economic growth will require decisive reforms in energy, logistics, and investment facilitation, alongside strengthened public-private partnerships and targeted SME support, attracting foreign and domestic investment, while aligning skills development and industry needs will be fundamental to achieving long-term economic resilience. The focus should also be on job creation, inclusive and sustainable growth. Honorable Speaker, allow us to provide details of the vote allocation per program. The Provincial Treasury is allocated a total amount of 384 million for the 2025-2026 financial year. This amount is disaggregated across the various programs as follows. Program 1, which deals with administration, we have set aside 133 million. Program 2, which deals with sustainable resource management, we have set aside 65.8 million. Program 3, which deals with assets and liabilities management, we have set aside 72.5 million. Program 4, which deals with financial governance, we have set aside 34.1 million. And Program 5, which is the municipal finance management responsibility, we have set aside 78.4 million. Now I will start with Program 1. The role of this program is to provide leadership and strategic management in accordance with legislation, regulations, and policies, as well as to ensure that there are appropriate support services to all our programs. Honorable Speaker, as we reflect on the allocations within this year's budget, it is important to acknowledge not only the visible output of our programs, but also the crucial machinery that enables them to function. Allow me to share a simple analogy. Imagine Provincial Treasury as a symphony orchestra performing a complex and beautiful piece of music. The line functionaries and departmental leaders are like the musicians and the conductor. They are the ones in the spotlight, delivering the performance that the public sees and hears. But behind that performance is a dedicated and often unseen group, the stage crew. These are the people who prepare the stage, tune the instruments, manage the sheet music, adjust the lighting, and ensure that each performer is ready to shine. In much the same way, our administrative support services form the backbone of our department's operation. They may not be the ones playing the music, but without them, the show simply cannot go on. They manage staffing, budgets, logistics, and operational planning, just as the backstage crew ensures everything flows seamlessly behind the scenes. The cybersecurity. Honorable members, the cybersecurity has become an essential pillar in the safeguarding sensitive government information and upholding public confidence, particularly as cyber threats continue to evolve in sophistication and scale. In recognition of this growing risk, the Provincial Treasury, in collaboration with the Office of the Premier, will be strengthening the cybersecurity measures across all provincial administration. This investment marks the beginning of a broader effort to institutionalize the cybersecurity as a core component of the ICT governance and service delivery in the province. Currently, departments are operating in largely decentralized manner when it comes to cybersecurity. and ICT risk management. This fragmented approach leaves gaps in oversight, coherency, and resources optimization. As such, there is a clear need to rationalize efforts and begin conceptualizing a centrally managed Provincial Cyber Security Operations Center, the PCOC. This envisioned center will consolidate monitoring, threat intelligence, and response capabilities under a unified architecture. It will also require significant ICT infrastructure, planning, and shared governance models. The strategic areas of collaboration will include the following: strengthening ICT governance, securing financial systems, capacity building, and strategic alignment. The integrated approach will ensure that the Free State government is well positioned to mitigate cyber risk, protect public sector assets, and foster trust in digital government services. Honorable Speaker, we wish to reiterate the importance of the skills audit as a strategic and empowering intervention, not a punitive measure. This process is not intended to attack or marginalize employees with limited qualifications or experiences. Rather, it is a developmental initiative designed to identify skills gaps and provide the necessary support to close them. The Provincial Treasury, in partnership with the Office of the Premier, will lead the critical initiative. Our ultimate goal is to build a capable and skilled public services, one that is equipped to deliver quality services and respond effectively to the needs of our communities. The role of this program, the Sustainable Resource Management Program 2, is to provide professional advice and support on provincial economic analysis, fiscal policy, and management of annual budget processes, and the implementation of provincial budgets, review of the baseline allocations. Honorable Speaker, as the custodian of the provincial budget, the Free State Provincial Treasury will be leading the efforts to strengthen fiscal discipline and drive efficiencies and ensure that our limited resources are optimally allocated and effectively utilized. The strengthening of the provincial budget begins with rigorous review of the existing budget baselines. We can no longer afford to allocate resources based purely on historical patterns without questioning effectiveness, efficiency, and relevance of such. The review of the baseline allocations will be undertaken with two primary objectives. That is, to identify and address inefficiencies with a view to improve the effectiveness of our spending, and lastly, to unlock funding for critical provincial priorities and budget pressures. This exercise is not a paper process. It involves close cooperation with departments to ensure that each line item is interrogated, every program is evaluated, and every rent is accounted for. I want to repeat this one. This exercise is not just a paper process. It involves close collaboration with departments to ensure that each line is interrogated, every program is evaluated, and every rent is accounted for. Honorable Speaker, in addition to the budget baseline reviews, the Free State Province will be participating in the spending reviews in partnership with the National Treasury and other key stakeholders. These reviews are aimed at assessing value derived from major spending areas, assessing the efficiency and impact of government programs, and identifying opportunities for cost saving without compromising service delivery. Basically, these spending reviews represent a shift from compliance-based budgeting to performance-informed budgeting, a key pillar of sustainable fiscal reform. Honorable members, as we alluded during the tabling of the provincial budget, the Free State Provincial Treasury will continue to monitor strict adherence by departments and entities to provincial cost containment measures, which are aimed at reducing spending on non-core items and directing savings towards critical service delivery areas. Speaker, we must emphasize that cost containment is not just a financial strategy. It is a moral imperative. We owe it to our citizens to ensure that every rand is spent with care, purpose, and measurable impact. We must continually pursue more efficient ways to maximize value for money in government programs until fiscal situation improves. Honorable members, strengthening oversight mechanism is central to our mission, especially on catalytic programs such as infrastructure investment. This role is underscored by Section 18 of the Public Finance Management Act, which mandates the Provincial Treasury to exercise oversight role over the financial management of all provincial departments and public entities. Allow me to remind this august House that among the key powers and functions entrusted to us as Treasury are the following: exercise control over the implementation of the provincial budget, must issue provincial treasury instructions not inconsistent with PFMA, must intervene by taking appropriate steps, which may include withholding of funds to address a serious or persistent material breach of PFMA by a provincial department or a provincial entity, and may do anything further that is necessary to fulfill its responsibilities effectively. To this end, in this financial year and going forward, we will intensify our oversight role on expenditure control, infrastructure delivery management. We must cap delays, budget overruns, and non-compliance infrastructure delivery, which tend to weaken development outcomes and erode public trust in government. Honorable Speaker, to address the Provincial Treasury, will implement stricter monitoring framework for infrastructure projects, improve planning and costing accuracy throughout the technical support, technical support and the training, ensure alignment between infrastructure spending and long-term provincial development goals, strengthen our monitoring structures by ensuring that the MEC for Finance and the head of Department for Provincial Treasury preside over quarterly infrastructure and expenditure review meetings. These sessions will serve as platforms where departments are held accountable for their respective infrastructure projects and expenditure trends. We will further reinforce the infrastructure delivery mandate system, the DMS, the IDMS, to improve the life skill management of infrastructure projects from conception to completion. Speaker, the support provided to municipalities in relation to infrastructure delivery will continue in 2025-2026. We are equally delighted that approval for the implementation of PINK 2 has been granted by the National Treasury. This program seeks to enhance the efficiency of municipal infrastructure plans and implementation. The Provincial Treasury will drive the implementation of the PINK 2 phase and will continue building municipal capabilities in infrastructure procurement, knowledge management, and improve governance and sustainable infrastructure service delivery. Honorable Speaker, compensation of employees continues to consume a significant portion of our provincial budget. While we value a skilled and motivated public service, the current wage bill is unsustainable. We welcome the early retirement initiative introduced by the National Treasury, which we believe will be positively received by the colleagues aged 55 and above. We further believe the Office of the Premier will lead provincial departments in considering staff rationalization, guided by the skills audits. These measures, among others, are necessary steps towards ensuring that the wage bill is sustainable and that the department are structured for maximum effectiveness. In the last year's vote speech, we emphasized the urgent need for the province to enhance own revenue mobilization capabilities. Honorable members, today we are proud to report that these efforts have yielded encouraging results. We have registered significant improvements in revenue collection. The revenue collected as at the end of February 2024 exceeded our average target of the 2025 financial year. This is not just a counting milestone. It is a sign of improved compliance, enhanced governance, and an emerging culture of accountability across our revenue-generating institutions. However, we must be realistic. Transfers from national fiscus are no longer sufficient to fund all our provincial priorities. While we are grateful for these allocations, they are increasingly constrained by national economic pressures and cannot alone drive the transformation we envision for the Free State. We must accelerate our efforts and expand and strengthen our own revenue base, not as an optional reform, but as a strategic imperative. Honorable Premier, we are not only safeguarding our fiscal integrity, we are laying a foundation for a more self-reliant and self-resilient province. Every rand collected is a step towards a better road, better hospital, safer community, and growing economy that benefits all. The decision-making is informed by research, is essential for effective governance, sound policy development, strategic planning, and efficient budgeting. We are pleased to report that in 2024, we hosted a highly successful research colloquium featuring exciting and insightful presentations from young and old academics at the Central University of Technology and the University of the Free State, as well as other established researchers. In the current financial year, we are proud to continue this important initiative and will once again host the annual Provincial Research Colloquium in partnership with CUT and UFS and other stakeholders. Speaker, in addition to the research colloquium, the Provincial Treasury will publish the Socio-Economic Review and Outlook, the Municipal Economic Review and Outlook, and the Medium-Term Budget Policy Statement for the province, which we believe will assist our stakeholders in executing their respective works. The role of this program is to provide, Program 3, is to provide policy direction, facilitate effective and efficient management of assets, liabilities and financial management system, and procure transversal and cross-cutting goods and services. The 30-day payment. The financial capacity of our provincial departments and entities has experienced notably deterioration over the past 2 financial years. This decline is evidenced by the persistent challenges of the Free State provincial departments and entities face in meeting their obligations to pay suppliers within the prescribed 30-day period. Accruals from previous financial years continue to rise annually. This has been further compounded by inadequate cash flow, which has, in turn, resulted in the ability of some departments and entities to honor payments owed to suppliers from prior financial years. These mounting obligations have exerted significant pressure on the current department and the budget. The Free State Provincial Treasury remains steadfast in its oversight role. We will continue to closely monitor the performance of all departments and public entities, particularly their compliance with the 30-day payment requirement. Furthermore, we are committed to providing the necessary support and guidance to help departments address and resolve the root causes of non-compliance. Unethical behavior. In response to unethical behavior and alleged corrupt practices within our governance system, particularly instances where certain officials have reportedly demanded payments or so-called toll gates from suppliers, the Free State Provincial Treasury has over the years implemented robust grievance processes. These mechanisms enable suppliers and stakeholders to report unethical conduct and suspected corrupt activities within the provincial government framework. This reporting system ensures that the relevant accounting officers are empowered to investigate allegations, hold implicated individuals accountable, and enforce consequence management where necessary. Such measures reflect our continued commitment to promoting integrity, transparency, and ethical governance. The verification of staff or headcount. To address the persistent issue of verification of staff, the Free State Provincial Treasury is mandated to manage and maintain the PESAL system within the province. As part of this mandate, the Treasury provides technical support across all transversal systems and continue to build capacity within provincial departments to ensure these systems are used efficiently and effectively. To help departments align their personnel compensation budgets with the actual staffing reflected on PESAL system, the Treasury is committed to assisting with the implementation of headcount exercise. This strategy is critical to ensure that personnel budgets correspond with verified staffing structures, enabling departments to plan and make decisions based on the accurate and reliable workforce data. Honorable members, as we highlighted during the tabling of the provincial budget speech, the Provincial Treasury and the Office of the Premier, in collaboration with other departments, will spearhead a campaign under the theme, "Where is who and who is where?" This initiative aims to accurately verify the placement and the existence of personnel across provincial administration. Through this campaign, we intend to identify and significantly reduce the number of possible ghost employees within the system, thereby promoting efficiency, accountability, and the prudent of the use of public resource. Program 4. The role of the Financial Governance Program is to promote accountability through substantive reflection of financial activities of the province, as well as compliance with financial norms and standards. Honorable Speaker, all provincial departments, public trading entities, and other funds submitted the required documents related to the annual financial statements in terms of Section 40 and 55 of the PFMMA by the end of May 2024 to the Auditor General. We are pleased to announce that for the first time in 9 years, the provincial PFMA audit outcomes had no adverse or disclaimer audit opinion. 10 of the 13 provincial departments, that including legislature, were able to obtain either a clean or unqualified audit with opinion for the 2023-2024 financial year. The audit outcomes for the 2023-2024 financial year again showed a slight improvement, with Provincial Treasury, Legislature, and Housing Fund obtaining unqualified with no findings. It means it's a clean audit opinions, while 2 departments, namely Sports, Arts, Culture and Recreation, as well as Human Settlement, improved from qualified audit opinion to unqualified with findings audit opinions. Free State Development Corporation has improved from adverse or to a qualified audit opinion. Honorable Speaker, to enhance the quality of the annual financial statement and to consequently quality of consolidated financial statements in the 2023-2024 financial year, the Provincial Treasury has embarked on a number of initiatives, which amongst others includes the following: the quarterly interim financial statements of all departments, biannual financial of public entities, trading entities, the Housing Fund, and the Legislature were assessed, and detailed assessment reports were provided by the accounting officers and CEOs with clear guidance on ratifications to be done. Monthly assessment letters are issued to the department heads and CEOs of the entities on the key control metrics, and monthly and quarterly combined reports are submitted to the MEC, Finance, Tourism and Economic Development, to forward the executive authorities for intervention if required, and the assessment reports are also forwarded to the chief audit executives and chairpersons of audit committees for their information and enhancement of their oversight. Honorable Speaker, it is imperative to bring to the attention of this august House persons of audit committees for their information and enhancement of their oversight. Honorable Speaker, it is imperative that the province has recorded significant progress in curbing unwanted expenditure between the 2022-2023 and 2023-2024 financial years. This marks a commendable milestone of which we as a province can be proud. However, we remain mindful that more effort is required to sustain and build on this progress. Departments and entities should still do more to curb it and finalize accumulated outstanding investigations. At the heart of building a capable and developmental state lies the Provincial Treasury's unwavering commitment to capacity building and oversight. To strengthen the internal audit function across the Free State government, the Provincial Treasury coordinated targeted training programs for internal auditors within departments, public entities, and municipalities. These programs included capacity building for implementing the global internal auditing standards, ensuring alignment with international best practices. Additionally, specialized training on the auditing of performance information was provided to enhance the quality and reliability of the performance data reported by the departments and entities. This forms part of our broader strategy to improve compliance, transparency, and performance accountability within public sectors. The Provincial Treasury's footprint in driving accountability is further evident through a range of initiatives to promote ethical governance and strengthening fraud prevention systems. These include enforcing fraud and ethics risk assessment, providing education and awareness campaign and fraud and corruption, and leverage our corporate membership and the Association of the Certified Fraud Examiners South Africa and the Institute of Risk Management South Africa to expose public servants to facet lifelong learning programs on enterprise risk management and anti-fraud strategy. It is for this reason that we also welcome the Premier's call today that there will be lifestyle audits. In line with the national vision of professionalizing the public sector, the Provincial Treasury will continue collaborating with professional bodies to build skills and foster excellency within public service. A notable milestone in this regard is the establishment of the Free State Northern Cape IRMSA subcommittee, which serves as a platform to support and professionalize the risk management in both provinces. This initiative is instrumental in facilitating the path towards achieving certified risk practitioners status, enhancing the capacity of government institutions to manage risk effectively and proactively. The program's role, the municipal finance management, the program's role is to promote and improve financial governance and management at the local government. Honorable members, we align ourselves with the call by the Honorable President Cyril Ramaphosa during the State of the Nation address to review local government white paper to modernize and strengthen the local government sphere. The Provincial Treasury has observed a concerning decline in the financial management capacity within our municipalities, which threatens the delivery of basic services. To respond to these challenges, an amount of 78.4 million is allocated to this program as part of recalibrated strategy to support municipalities in distress. Our support will focus on critical areas, including timely submission of quality annual financial statements, addressing revenue challenges and unfunded budgets, and curbing unauthorized, irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure. To demonstrate our quest to turn around our financial health, the following municipalities are targeted for improvement: clean audits or unqualified with no findings, Lejwele Putswa and Thabo Mofutsanyane District, Tswelopele and Setsoto local municipalities. And for municipalities with disclaimers, we are intensifying our efforts to move them towards qualified audit outcomes at least. Honorable Speaker, to achieve the above, we urge municipalities to submit their draft financial statements and audit files to the Provincial Treasury for review and assessment by the 16th of August. There shouldn't be any extension that must be entertained. The Provincial Treasury will also be sourcing additional specialized support to assist with the preparation of high-quality AFS, enhancing revenue systems, and reducing the UIFWE. Honorable members, a major concern is most of our municipalities continue tabling of unfunded budgets, largely due to an unsustainable revenue basis. To address these, a dedicated municipal revenue team will be provided targeted support to 10 municipalities. We aim to increase the number of municipalities with funded budgets from 7 to at least 10 over the next MTREF. On the issue of the UIFWE, we will prioritize 10 municipalities with the highest level of such expenditure. Specialized support will be directed to Machabeng and Maluti Apofu local municipalities. To enforce accountability, our office will hold monthly engagements with mayors in collaboration with the MEC for COGTA. These meetings will also be led by the Premier. We'll track progress in areas like adoption of funded budgets, timely AFS submission, reduction of UFWE, and the billing and revenue collection improvement. We remain steadfast in our commitment to resolving the persistent challenges faced by our municipalities. These challenges include, among others, poor revenue collection, unfunded budgets, irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure, as well as late submission of quality or qualitative annual financial statements and outcomes. Honorable members, we draw strength and inspiration from the words of the former president of the ANC and the country, Mr. Thabo Mbeki, who once said, I quote, "Those who complete the course will do so only because they do not, as fatigue sets in, convince themselves that the road ahead is still too long, the inclines too steep, the loneliness impossible to bear, and the price itself of doubtful value." Close quote. Honorable Speaker, improving governance requires that all stakeholders play their roles effectively. To this end, monthly joint meetings between my office and the MEC of COGTA will be convened, and with the mayors to monitor funded budgets, AFS submission, and UIFE reduction and billing, and revenue collection improvements, and reporting to the Premier on the progress. Honorable members, I wish to stress that all municipal leaders, mayors, MPAC or MPEC chairpersons, MMCs for finance, audit committees chairs must ensure that monthly progress reports are tabled, discussed in council. These reports should track AFS preparation, the UIFW reduction, and the billing improvements. Honorable members, strengthening the capacity of Provincial Treasury remains a central priority as we continue to enhance financial governance and support across municipalities in the Free State. For some time now, the unit has been without a chief director, a vacancy that has impacted overall leadership and coordination of municipal financial oversight. The Provincial Treasury will be prioritizing the appointment of a qualified, capable, and experienced personnel to lead the critical program. This appointment is not just a filling of vacancy. It is about injecting stability, vision, and technical expertise into a unit that plays a pivotal role in promoting sound financial management at the local level. Municipalities must all implement and enforce credit control policies and bylaws while facing in cost-reflective tariffs over the next 3 to 5 years. At the same time, we must address inefficiencies and significant cost drivers such as employee-related costs and contracted services. These issues contribute to unaffordable tariffs and poor service delivery. The absence of performance management in some municipalities is also of great concern and must be urgently addressed. Honorable members, improving audit outcomes in municipalities across province remains a cornerstone in our ongoing pursuit of a sound financial government. Strengthened accountability and improved service delivery. In this regard, the Provincial Treasury, working in close collaboration with the Office of the Premier and the Department of Corporate Governance, continue to play a vital role in supporting municipalities in enhancing their financial management systems and institutional oversight. The coordinated effort ensures that municipalities are better positioned to meet audit standards, enforce financial controls, and adopt governance practices that are both sustainable and compliant. In line with this objective, the Honorable Premier has proactively engaged with the Mangaung municipality despite its status as a non-delegated municipality in a concerted effort to improve its audit outcomes. These engagements, held in collaboration with the Auditor General, served as a platform for the AGSA to provide comprehensive feedback on the Metro audit performance and highlight specific collaborative actions that must be undertaken to address the identified outcome. Furthermore, the engagement provided an opportunity to review the progress made in implementing the financial recovery plan, which remains a critical intervention to restore financial stability and operational effectiveness in that metro. Honorable members, these engagements reflect provincial government's unwavering commitment to improving audit outcomes, particularly within the metro municipality, which continues to play a central role in our broader governance framework. Together, we can turn around the state of local government and ensure efficient, accountable, and transparent financial. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, as we conclude to address, I wish to express my deepest appreciation to the Honorable Premier for her exemplary leadership and strategic foresight. Her guidance continues to shape the trajectory of our province and inspire confidence in our path. To my colleagues at the Executive Council, thank you for unwavering support. I also extend my sincere gratitude to the head of the department and the entire team for their exceptional work in preparing this vote speech. Their diligence and steadfast commitment to prudent financial management are truly commendable. To my family, I offer my heartfelt thanks for your unwavering support and understanding. Your encouragement remains a pillar of strength in fulfilling my responsibilities. I also like to extend my sincere appreciation to the people of Free State and particularly the resilient citizens of the Free State. Your patience, perseverance, and continued support amid the prevailing challenges are deeply appreciated and do not go unnoticed. Let us move forward together in purpose. Honorable Speaker, allow me to quote again the President of the ANC and the country, Mr. Mbeki, when he once said, "Gloom and despondency have never defeated adversity. Trying times need courage and resilience. Our strength as a people is not tested during the best of time." Honorable Speaker, I table the 2025-2026 department budget.
We proceed now to debate on the Honorable MEC's presentation of the budget vote of the Free State Provincial Treasury. Honorable Member Manche.
What is your issue, Ena? What is your problem? Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker of the Provincial Legislature, Honorable Premier Premier Liswa Matai, Honorable members of the Provincial Legislature, members of the Executive Council, Marana Rona Otlatenka Kwano Kelishlompile, Bumajoro, Makansela Otlaka Kwano. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the budget vote 4 of Department of Treasury. On the 27th of April, 2025, it will be exactly 31 years since the birth of our democratic dispensation, which was ushered in 1994, when millions of our people exercised their right to vote for the very first time, when for the very first time men and women of every color, language, religion, rich and poor, were granted a universal suffrage. Our nation was born. Honorable Speaker, we recall and salute the heroism, the sacrifices, and the selflessness of our people who made it possible for all of us to live in a strong, vibrant democracy. We remember and salute our brothers and sisters in the African continent across the world whose solidarity made it possible for us to defeat apartheid, a crime against humanity. Honorable Speaker, through their determined struggle and effort, and ensuring that South Africa today have the possibility to build a just, united, and prosperous country. Honorable Speaker, this budget vote is presented under tough economic conditions. Our economic growth levels are very low, just below 0.1% a year per capita terms. The unemployment rate is very high, with about 31% of our province labor force unemployed. Poverty persists in our townships and rural areas. The wealth of our country is still concentrated in a few hands. The poor remains poor. These are some of the challenges or factors that call for a speedy resolution in the implementation of economic transformation. Socio-economic transformation, Honorable Speaker, is about fundamental change in the structure, systems, ownership patterns, management, and controls of the economy for all South Africans, especially the Black people. Honorable Speaker, our long-held view as the ANC is that government must use fiscal policy effectively to intensify its fight against poverty, inequality, prioritize infrastructure maintenance and investment, as well as advancing the country's overall industrialization and employment creation objectives. Honorable Speaker, allow me to briefly reflect on the mandate of the Free State Provincial Treasury and its central role in building a developmental state capable of implementing priorities of government. The Provincial Treasury is responsible for all financial matters in the province. It is the duty of Provincial Treasury to ensure that provincial budget and budget. It is the duty of Provincial Treasury to ensure that provincial budget and budgetary process the economy. Honorable Speaker, in broad terms, this implies that Treasury must discharge its responsibility to facilitate a process where the state creates enabling environment for inclusive economic growth and job creation that will not only allow business to thrive, but also to ensure that services are effectively delivered to our people. We strongly believe as the ANC that this department must play a significant role and must have the necessary capacity in terms of human capital in order to ensure that government systems is fully functional and its service delivery machinery funded is responds to the needs of the citizen. Honorable Speaker, we make this point precisely because Provincial Treasury supports 9 sister departments and 24 municipalities along 7 provincial entities, including the legislature and external stakeholders. The Provincial Treasury faces rising pressure to provide fiscal and technical support to these partners as they respond to ongoing increases in demand for public services within limited resources in envelope. This continues to place added mandate on the provincial budgeting and financial management processes. Specifically, demand for developmental and infrastructure-related response are also placing pressure on supply chain and asset management system and elevating the importance of effective financial governance and all such as unemployment, inequality, poverty, infrastructure concerns are also placing pressure on supply chain and asset management system and elevating the importance of effective financial governance and all infrastructure constraints, which demands of us to provide innovative solutions and collaborative efforts from both the public and private sector. Honorable Speaker, understanding the economy realities of the Free State requires placing our province within the broader context of South Africa, a nation that, despite the abundant resources, is classified amongst the least developed countries. This classification highlights the shared economic challenges we face with other nations in this category, as we contend with the complexity of the global economic system. Each country in this group has its own distinct characteristics, yet all are united in the doubting task of overcoming systematic underdevelopment and thriving towards sustainable prosperity. A significant feature of the Free State economy evolution is the rise and growing influence of the finance sector. This development is not an isolated occurrence, but part of the larger global trend towards financialization, where financial services and institutions increasingly drive economic activities and shape growth patterns. The expansion of the financial sector presents both opportunities and challenges. On the other hand, it promises economic diversification, increased investment and innovation, potentially serving as a catalyst for development and job creation. On the other hand, it requires careful management to ensure that the benefits of financial growth are equitably distributed and that the economy remains resilient to global financial fluctuations. Honorable Speaker, transition from underdevelopment to a more prosperous state necessitates harnessing the potential of the finance sector while addressing the structural barriers that impede progress. This includes or involves investing in education, infrastructure, technology, fostering an environment conducive to entrepreneurship, and implementing policies that promote inclusivity and sustainable growth. Honorable Speaker, the economic journey of the Free State reflects the broader challenges and opportunities faced by at least developed countries globally. By strategically leveraging the rise of the financial sector, we can pave the way for a more equitable and prosperous future, ensuring that our people share economic advancements we achieve. The Free State economy contributes about 4.9% towards the South African economy or our GDP. And this share has been maintained since 2013 and has a bearing on the fiscal allocation to the province received through equitable share formula. This requires us to harness new synergies between private and public sector to tackle the blockages hindering economic growth in our province. The province is still or has a comparative advantage in agriculture, mining, electricity, and community services, while its stress index is slowly rising in the transport industry. We cannot afford to lose out on any private sector investment opportunity. Honorable Speaker, by challenging the resources and expertise of diverse stakeholders to efficiently address public needs, triple Ps are essential game changer in addressing the country's many developmental and infrastructure challenges. MEC, we welcome the IDMS system. This system will not only assist in making sure that we monitor and implement our projects as expected, but it will also ensure that we've got a reliable asset register. Honorable Speaker, these projects include hospitals, transport, roads, tourism, office accommodation, as well as agro-processing, the provincial industrial parks, the discovery of natural gas that has recently been done in Nijolipuza, and the development of provincial green economy. Of all this, we must be aware, or we must undertake the fact that sole objective of addressing current gaps in terms of capacity, enhancing service delivery, boosting economic growth, and fostering sustainable development for our communities. Allow me, Honorable Speaker, to conclude this budget vote, or the support of the budget vote by the MEC, by reminding ourselves that the Provincial Treasury needs to play an important role in holding a mirror to ourselves, helping us to reflect on policies we must pursue and with vigor to rise our growth. Over and above that, we would have to improve our standards of living and recognize and understand the cost imposed on all of us by the scourge of poverty. Honorable Speaker, while we endorse this particular budget vote and support the Department of the Premier, as well as the Department of Treasury, it must be noted that while playing this important role, Premier, by Provincial Treasury, it should also recognize that they are not beyond reproach. All, like other departments, were equal, and they must be bound by the same regulation and prescripts. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Member Klute.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Who is where and where's who? The MEC is playing hide and seek. I would never thought I'd hear the MEC playing hide and seek. Who's where and where's who? I will focus on Program 5, the Municipal Finance Management, which aims to, and I quote, improve the state of financial governance and management of local government. In simple terms, we spend money to help municipalities manage their money better. So how's that going? Speaker, I've seen some of the 2023-2024 municipal audit outcomes. It's a mess. According to the Auditor General, municipal audit results have remained stagnant for the past 3 years, despite 71 million rand on reporting consultants. That's 16 million more than the previous year. Every single municipality has been classified as doing harm. And out of the 9 municipalities nationwide that failed to submit financial statements or submitted them late, 6 are from the Free State. Remember, if you don't submit, you cannot account for money spent. Now, MEC Mokoena says the poor performance stems from 2 things: a lack of qualified officials and delays in critical appointments. I agree, but for different reasons, MEC Mokoena. For 31 years, the ANC has diminished the talent pool by enforcing race-based laws that prioritize skin color over merit. Vacancies exist since ANC factions can't agree on which cadres to appoint with the most kickbacks. But there are solutions, Speaker. So let's start with oversight. Now, the Premier we just heard is on very dangerous terrain when she thinks she can dictate how oversight should be done. Speaker, she will not dictate or deter me from my constitutional responsibility to oversee her and the MEC sitting here. It's both disrespectful to the Speaker and to this institution and the Constitution and the principle of separation of power. Only dictators operate in such a manner. We need meaningful oversight with real consequences, Speaker. Second, it's time to scrap affirmative action and BEE. We must build a capable state based on merit. Thank you.
Can you take yours?
Isn't that it, Lord? Willing to take a question, please?
I'm finished. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you. Honourable Member Mbalula.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Chief Whip Ndate Khwabane, Chair of Chairs Ndate MEC, esteemed members of this august House, Honorable Premier Makume Matai, Honorable colleagues in the Free State Executive Council, ladies and gentlemen of the media, basebeletsi ba mmuso bohle ba teng mo, marena rona le ona kaofela ha bona, bomme le bontate dumelang. I rise here today as a proud deployee of the African National Congress in full support of the budget vote speech for the Provincial Treasury. The Free State Treasury serves as a bedrock of prudent financial management, fiscal oversight, and good governance in our province. And so, this budget must be understood as a strategic instrument to enhance our efforts towards a developmental state that places our right at the. It is a progressive commitment that gives practical expression to the ideals of the National Democratic Revolution. It is pro-poor, it is aligned with the ANC-led government priorities, and most importantly, it places local government at the coalface of service delivery to ensure that basic needs of our people are met with speed and urgency. Honorable Speaker, this is a budget of the people, for the people. It is unapologetically biased towards the poor and the working class, in line with our historic mission to redress the injustices of apartheid, from which some amongst us here immensely benefited. This is what we mean when we talk about radical economic transformation. That is deliberate reordering of our economy and the state to address the basic needs of the majority of our people. This budget is aligned with the broader vision envisioned in the National Development Plan, as well as the Economic Reconstruction and Recovery Plan of our country. It responds to the clarion call to build a capable, ethical, and developmental state. Honorable Speaker, through this budget, the department clearly commits itself to ensure value for money, improved oversight, and accountability. It commits itself to rooting out fruitless and wasteful expenditure and ensuring that public resources are used to uplift our communities. We are happy that the budget, as presented by MEC Makume, correctly recognizes the centrality of the municipalities as a sphere of government that is closest to the people and thus located at the coalface of service delivery. The budget rightly places a particular emphasis on building capacity at the local government level to ensure that municipalities are well-resourced, well-governed, and able to drive integrated development across. We commend the department for its targeted support in ensuring compliance with 30-day payment according to the PFMA. This is necessary in the current economic climate, especially for small, medium, and macro enterprises that depend on timely payment to stay afloat. This will help to stimulate local economy, empower emerging entrepreneurs, and restore the confidence in our government. Another important commitment in the budget is the support to departments and public entities to help them improve their audit outcomes. This support is fundamental in helping departments achieve unqualified or clean audits, and more broadly, in ensuring that public funds are used properly. We welcome the commitment to invest 10 million in strengthening cybersecurity measures across the provincial government. This is a welcomed investment and one that shall institutionalize cybersecurity as opposed to merely treating it as a by the way. We applaud the efforts by the department to strengthen processes through which to report cases where officials demand bribes or the so-called toll gates from service providers. The 7th administration is combat ready to surgically remove such officials from the public service and replace them with upright South Africans who are yearning for opportunities to serve. For this and other reasons, there is no doubt that the Provincial Treasury has a strategic role to play in ensuring that municipalities are capacitated to manage public funds effectively, comply with good governance frameworks, and deliver quality services to the people. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, this budget vote speaks to the heart of our historic mission as the African National Congress. It is indeed a step forward in our pursuit of the inclusive economy, social cohesion, and the total emancipation of our people. It is a practical demonstration of the ANC's enduring commitment to build a South Africa that truly belongs to all who live in it. And so, the African National Congress welcomes and supports this budget because it affirms our long-standing commitment to transform the apartheid spatial and economic landscape, to advance the interests of the poor, and to build an inclusive, non-racial, and non-sexist society. I thank you.
Honorable Msman, can we switch off that mic, please? Honorable Msman, switch off that mic. Mic one. Comrade Nanyani, hela, me, agakopa wena. Kopa ntate switchetse off, la o sa laetwa ke ena.
Honorable Speaker, the Provincial Chair of EFF in the Province of Free State, Deputy Secretary of the Province, Provincial Treasurer, Morena Moholo Mopedi, Marenaga, Homutzeo le manamane a tsona. Re utlwile mona slogan se setjha se re who is where is who. At least rona ra tseba gore since Honorable Mbalula tloa mangao re tseba di whereabouts tsa hae o ntse ana le rona mona. Honorable Speaker, re na le mathata. For the past 8 years, Masilonyane has been getting disclaimed. For the past 5 years, Malutapofu has been getting a disclaimer. Because like about 10 years, for the past 3 years, Nketwana has been getting a disclaimer.
And we have heard this rhetoric, MEC, that you are going to handle it better and then you have better ways, turnaround strategy, all manner of ways, but they remain where they are. A worst part, when you go to Mafube, it was also joined the bandwagon of disclaimer. Mohokare, there's also joined the bandwagon of disclaimer audit opinions. So, what is even worse with Mohokare is that they're basically deducting from employees, but the money doesn't go to the third parties. Ha batho ba hlokahala, ha batho ba tswa ba tlameha ba retrenchuwe, ba retire, ha ba kgone ho thola tjhelete tsa bona. Motho o sebetsa ba bane le 70 years a sa thole di benefits tsa. You have not told us as to whether how are you going to deal with that issue in particular, Honorable MEC. You are quiet around it, and it's affecting our people directly, for that matter, including that Kopano. Honorable MEC, I heard you have announced the team that you will be working with, which includes the Premier. I know I keep out last. Amongst other things, is that the very same Premier, where she comes from, Department of Roads and Transport, she dropped that department from unqualified to a qualified audit opinion. Now, even now, as Auditor General expresses audit opinion, we're not hearing her nearer to unqualified report. It's a problem on its own. You are making a bold statement, but that bold statement is not easy for us to believe what you are saying, because the experience tells us to get. That is unbelievable. The other thing, we have heard this rhetoric, but 8 billion out of 43 billion goes on litigations, which means 20% of the Free State budget goes on litigations. You know what happens there? People are channeling money there. They are playing javelin and then they will go and fetch it to these different law companies. That's how people chow our money. And then 10 billion goes on fruitless and wasteful expenditure, which means 25% of the budget is on fruitless and wasteful expenditure. That on its own, it tells us a different story. That re romme di fariki mokopung, ha di no khutla le ona, o tlo khutla o fedile. Ke mathata ro. So, we have been told, batho tlameile ba patale,